Everybody, John Brown from the Quadcast here. About to give you guys a heads up about this episode of the Quadcast. Had an amazing interview with the North Node Theater ladies. They are pretty freaking sick. Deep insight to the mental health game, levels, layers, all of the above. But once again, episode kind of lengthy, so I'm going to break it up into two parts for you guys, or at least one this week and the other one next week. Look forward into insight into the mental health game from two practitioners who practice what they preach very well. Their episodes kind of feel like therapy session, watch and learn about like their keys. I'll obviously link their podcast into this episode as well. But yeah, I got to talk to interview with the ladies. I hope you guys enjoy this episode and yeah, see you in there. All right, team. Welcome to the Quadcast. I have the podcast hosts of the North Node Therapeutic Theater, and I really want them to introduce themselves because I'll slaughter any introduction and do an injustice, and I don't feel like doing injustice today. So, ladies, could you please introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Liz Coton. I am a licensed clinical psychologist. And about me, do you want to know about my practice or just me as a person again?
Do both. Do
Okay,
both because
both. Okay.
people may have seen you as a person. Maybe they want to know about your practice as well. I think both is good.
Yeah, so I've been in the field of psychology for going on 18 years, and I specialize in trauma work. I work with individuals. I specialize in couples therapy, and I fucking love group
Couples.
work.
I forgot it was couples therapy. So
Yeah,
sorry. Oh my God, you are.
yeah. That's my jam, John. Like I love couples work. That's one of my favorite things.
The
Yeah.
city needs you. That's why you are who you are. You're Batman. Got it. Please continue.
Yeah, I'm Batman. I'm Dr. Aquafighter, you
I'm
know?
Dr. Aquafighter, aka Batman. Let's go.
Yes. I'm Batman. Um, yeah, so specialize in couples therapy. I've worked with the entire lifespan of ages across my career. And I would say that my absolute favorite thing about working with people is to have these aha moments of insight or some sort of emotional breakthrough, or in couples work, like the couple really deeply connecting with each other. And I get to see those moments of like deep love between each other, which I feel like is such an honor because it's just like, who gets to see this and witness this all the time, you know? So that's what I do. So specialize in trauma work. I have been trained in EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It is a type of trauma-oriented therapy. I can go into that more at some point if you want me to. And I also have been diving into coaching basketball because I grew up playing basketball and soccer as an athlete.
I remember
Uh,
you saying basketball.
yeah, yeah. And I just finished a season working with kindergarten through first graders for basketball, and it was so much fun. So much fun.
Creighton the Hoopers. I love that for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's awesome. They're just running around shooting the ball. Not super like technical based, but so
They
much fun.
can't be. They're tiny.
Yeah, yeah.
There shouldn't be technique. There should be fun.
There's not a lot of technique. It was great. It really connected to my own inner child. Like when you're with children, you get to access that more. And so it was not only like fun, but therapeutic for me. Yeah.
You
And
deserve
then
that.
what else? Yeah, I love nature. I love being out in nature. I love going for walks, runs, and I love puzzling. And we
Puzzling.
talked about last time Legos. I haven't done a Lego set in a while, but I do love Legos.
Legos puzzling. I know for in I don't know. I don't know many guy puzzlers. Like I feel like
Mm,
guys for puzzles find them in video games. Maybe that's where I do my puzzling.
yeah, okay, yeah.
But like I also choose like the games that I choose are like so frustrating that it's like why even play? Like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if y'all have heard of Elden Ring or heard of people who play Elden Ring, but
I've heard of that. Yeah.
essentially imagine a game so hard that it's annoying. And then in the game is so hard that that the people who made the game are like, this game is so hard, you can actually summon like a helper to help you fight in the game.
Oh,
And
okay.
then people were like, but if you do that, you have no honor. And so there's a game designed to get to help you. And they're like, but if you get help, you have no honor. I'm like, oh my God.
That's
So
awful.
it is
But also
100%.
sounds really interesting at the same time.
It's beautiful. Like the landscape and like the landscape is beautiful. The story and plot is vague. And
Mm.
like people like essentially have created books on what they think the lore could be.
Okay.
And the lore
Whoa.
was created by George R. R. Martin. And so first and foremost, there's incest for some weird reason. There has to be because George R. R. Martin's like, how do I create incest in a place that needed none? Like this is a fantasy world, right?
Yeah.
And so how we created incest this time,
Hmm.
he created these two people that fused as gods to become one, but somehow in this process mated with each other to create kids.
Oh.
And so their kids are cursed because of their both physical and godlike union. But before they did this and had these set of incestuous kids, they were having kids with like other people. So it's like this pantheon of like weird
Listen,
gods.
they need some therapy.
They need therapy. In fact, this whole game, this whole plot would be made so much easier if someone was like, man, how do you feel about the fact that your parents did some incestuous thing that wasn't
Yeah,
cool?
let's
How do
get
you
to
feel
the
about that?
deep roots of this. Yeah, that's so funny.
And so that's like where I guess like I get my puzzling. But a lot
Yeah.
of women that I know are like, oh, I'm stressed, thousand piece puzzle. Boom, boom,
Yes.
boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's
And
oppressive.
I like the wooden ones.
Hmm.
Like wooden ones that are just like they feel good, like tactile wise.
Texture wise,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of video games, I don't know if I told you, John, but I am an esport player. I do virtual reality gaming.
I could have been following you on Twitch this whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously you gotta text me your Twitch handle so I can watch and
Okay.
subscribe and watch you
Yeah.
play. What
I'll
game,
text
what
you that.
what VR game are you playing?
Have you heard of Onward? It's a military simulation first-person shooter game. And there's leagues. I'm in a league, multiple leagues. I've been a captain of a team. Like it's yeah. And it's real people that you're playing with too. So
This
that's
is
so fun.
okay. I There goes my after. I was gonna work out after this again, but like there might be my afternoon is watching you play. Okay, I'm
Dude,
excited.
I'll send you not even clips, videos of matches if you want. Yeah,
Send,
okay.
send.
Okay, sweet.
Lindsay, you next. Talk to me. Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Lindsay Lee. Um, let's see. Where do I start? I have been facilitating for 25 years, which is hilarious to me when I actually think about it. I'm a certified energetic healer. I see beyond the physical world.
Mm,
Um, I like to say I'm a dancer and dreamer. I
okay.
am a trained artist. I started off in the academic world and the professor track. And if you listen to our podcast, you know that I talk about a massive car accident that I was in where I walked away with a traumatic brain injury. And that set me on the track for health and wellness. And then I moved into becoming a somatic coach, all about creating safety both with and for your body to women. And so we really move through sexual trauma and really getting emotions out of that are stored in the body and stored within the fascia system. So I am co-founder of North Node and co-facilitator of this amazing therapeutic practice. And we continue to brainstorm and explore of how we can expand our methods and modalities so that we can continue to hold space and facilitate to people who are wanting to become their best selves.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that. Lindsay, you feel free to also give like some like that was very like professional background. Get a little
Yeah.
personal with us. Get a little
It's okay to get personal. If you like to do karate, you can say you like to do karate.
Hi,
Well,
yeah. She is the
no.
nonverbal ninja. That's true.
Yeah, I really pay attention to people's bodies, specifically how they breathe. And then I listen how their tone is leaving as they're speaking, so leaving their body. So that gives me a great indication both how you're taking in air and how you're letting it out. And then I pay attention to the specific nuances of how you move and what muscles tighten up while you're moving.
I
It's
feel
it's
I
a
feel
whole
s-
language.
I feel so examined right now. Like we've
No,
only
you're
been
not, I
talking
assure
for a
you.
little bit. Oh my
No,
God.
you're
Okay.
not.
Wow.
You're not, I assure you. Yeah. And if I am being observant, it's really just more of an objective standpoint of, oh, okay, this is the story that your body is telling me.
Mm.
So I'm just really in tune with, yes, the non-verbals. And Liz is quite verbal, which is amazing. So the two of us paired together, we're quite the dynamic duo. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So in regards to personal things, I I guess I could talk about like me right now is that I stopped working out for a bit because this job that I took really swallowed me. And so I'm on the track of how do I get back to listening to my body and allow movement and dance to be incorporated every single day. I am healing my art practice because the brain injury drastically cut it off. I don't even recognize my own handwriting. So I am currently in a space of actively healing that so that I can get back to a space of creativity and not have it not be a trigger. But we'll see. It's it's a constant growth process. So
Well, I believe in you. I think you got this.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
yeah,
if
Good.
thanks.
if anyone's gonna do some A+ body and mental health healing with regards to triggers and things like that, I think you will.
Thanks.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I have no
She
doubt.
she also recently got this adorable dog that loves her.
Yes.
Winston. He's
By
fantastic.
by the end of the podcast, if you want to bring Winston on camera and let him say, I
Oh, he's a little camera shy, but yes, yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, we've been working on that. We actually
Yeah.
just won a photo shoot. And so we just had a little photo session and he did great.
He did so
Uh,
good.
yeah, yeah. He just came into my life so seamlessly, like out of nowhere. And he's been with me for a little over 2 months now, and he is in protective mode right now. He's very funny. He's watching the door, and I
Mm.
gotta protect my mom.
Well, sounds like a good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very sweet. Yeah.
All right, team. Thank you for the introductions.
Yeah.
Now I get to just interview you guys and let you guys flex your stuff, so to speak.
Cool.
And once again, this first question, I think y'all will just knock it out of the park. Um, in okay, your background about me, I forgot. I introduced myself, but hopefully you guys know who I am at least a little bit. My name's Sean. My friends nickname me Quad Father because I got big legs and they're making fun of me. And podcast is the Quadcast because I talk about like four different dimensions of health, and I believe mental health plays like a big part in that, in like your overall like health, like whether it be physical, whether it be athletic performance, so on and so forth. And so I wanted to ask y'all, how much does your physical health play a role in your mental health? And y'all could like combine answers, y'all can give separate perspectives, however y'all want to do it, but I'm interested in learning.
All right. Well, Lindsay, I feel like we need to flex our big three in astrology to tie into this because it ties in. Listen. So, okay, Lindsay and I are both Leo suns, Taurus
hmm
moons.
Both.
She's a
hmm
yeah, yeah, we're both.
We're
Okay.
astrological twins,
Yeah.
almost.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
She
Yeah.
has a Libra rising and I have a Virgo rising.
hmm
That's the only difference. And it's not too much of a difference because if you look at the how the chart flows, Virgo is pretty much right next to Libra. So they're neighbors. So
They're
there's a lot of
neighbors.
similarities in the
hmm
energies. But I bring that up not only because I love talking about astrology in general, but also because like your moon sign directly relates to your emotional well-being. And so whatever energy is
Mm.
in that sign, in that placement, it you can access ways to really take care of yourself. And also ways that you recognize like, oh, this doesn't work for me versus this works for me. So Taurus is an earth sign. It's Mother Earth. It's a fixed sign. So it can have this like stubbornness to it, but also like solid driven like if a Taurus moon like wants something and engages in it, they will fucking like dedicate themselves to it. That's like
Mm.
the fixed energy. And so it's also so Taurus is also ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love and
Okay.
sensuality and beauty and satisfying the physical senses. And so I feel like a part of this is like when my body is out of whack, my mental, emotional sense of myself is also out of whack. So if I'm not taking care of like if I'm not sleeping well, ooh, my mood is gonna be off. And I don't think this is just like because I'm a Taurus moon. I mean, this is a human thing, but the way I resonate and relate to it within the Taurus moon helps me like highlight things that I can do to take care of myself. So like consistency in my routine of like routine and eating is massive for me. Like eating at the
Mm.
same time, eating food that like more like earthy non-processed foods is massive for me. Like I do not do well with processed foods at all. And I also think that, John, we were talking before you recorded about attunement in the nervous
Mhm.
system. I also think that this applies to like our digestive system because our digestive system is so directly connected to our nervous system. And so for me, if I'm not like really being conscious of what I'm eating, and then also, this is a big one, if I am not uh how do I put this? If I am in a fear loop of some kind or like ruminating loop, that directly affects my digestion. Yeah.
The fear loop will affect it. Oh, that's so cool.
So if I'm not mentally like uh connected to nourishment, like the like really being in like how do I put this? Being present with my food and slowly eating and believing that it's nourishing me. If I'm caught in loops of fear, like, oh, this is going to bother my digestion, oh, like those kind of thoughts, it's going to directly affect my digestion. And then when that spirals, it directly affects my sleep. And then when that spirals, it directly affects my mood. And so it actually really does, for me, start in that emotional, mental space of I need to be slow and sit with my feelings. If I'm going through something like big emotionally, I need to slow down and actually feel. Because if I'm not doing that, my body's going to yell at me. And it's going to be angry that I haven't attended to my feelings. And so that's been such a massive piece for me to feel good in my body.
That's so fucking cool. You have that level of attunement to your own body. Like, I work out all the time, and I don't know if I have that level of attunement to my own body. I'm like, my body's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, Psh, we have things to do.
Yeah.
Psh.
Well,
Oh,
and
we have things to
sometimes
do.
we have things to do for sure. Well, it's a spectrum, right? Like there's individuals who aren't as sensitively attuned to their bodies and they
Mhm.
can just eat whatever and it doesn't bother them. Or they don't think it does. They're not
Mm.
aware of it.
Mhm.
And then there's those of us like me who are like very sensitively attuned to my body. And sometimes that actually it can be really challenging because I'm picking up on so much sensory information that if I'm like not in a good mood or I haven't gotten great sleep, I can actually like amplify and snowball it into the more fear-based direction. And so, yes, it's beautiful that I can attune to myself. And it's also, it can be like really sometimes difficult to get out of like those loops because it's so intense and I amplify it because I'm so attuned.
Mm.
So that's just like my life's work with myself of finding balance within the attunement.
My life's work with myself is a bar. I've never
I
heard
I love the simplicity of that.
I've never heard someone say that before. Like my life's work with myself. Because no one would beautiful viewpoint. That's I'm gonna leave it there. That's a bar, and
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruminate positively on that myself for a little bit during this podcast episode. I apologize.
No, you're
Please
good.
continue.
You're good. Yeah. Um, I also have to move my body. Like if I'm not moving, like at least like walking, like getting my steps in, then I just feel like because it's so directly connected to your emotional state. Like if you're not moving any energy through your body. So then you're gonna start feeling stuck. And then it's gonna loop in your mind. It's gonna come out as like some negative narrative about yourself or pulled to the from the past, like anything negative about yourself. So it's all so interconnected. And so I mean, I've been an athlete my entire life. Like movement has been so massive for me. So that's the other piece that I love. Luckily, I love it. You know, there's some people that are like, "Ah, I don't want to work out." And I'm just like, I want to work out. Let's go, you know? So yeah, I'll leave it there at that and Lindsay can respond, but that is like me in a nutshell when it comes to my physical, mental, emotional well-being.
That's such an attuned combo. Lindsay, now
Um,
I'm excited for Lindsay's response. Let's go.
well, I'm laughing because of the Taurus moon thing. I'm like, there are specific days where I have specific eating routines
Mm,
and specific drink routines, like specific teas or specific coffee or
yeah.
like
Yes.
that's a Taurus moon for you. We're very specific. And
Steady,
it's like it's a
consistent.
total, yeah, and it's a total ambiance thing. Like I mean like the lighting has to be right, like the music, like it's a whole like sensory thing. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. I'm getting off track. So can John, can you repeat the initial question?
The initial question, how much does your physical health play a role in your mental health?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so where my brain goes is, emotions are stored in the body, and we're actually we only actually experience an emotion for 90 seconds. What
Okay.
happens after that is our memory, and we're on cognitive loop or cognitive hiccup.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I know, right? And so when the emotions are stored and stuck in our physical body, we need the physical exercise in order to release it. It's your
Hmm.
greatest meditation, it's your greatest medicine. So is laughter. Laughter is the best medicine. But in order to like allow yourself to truly work through something, you've got to move your body. Talking about it will only get you so far before you begin feeling the frustration and you're hitting up against a wall. You need the physical movement in order to effectively move through an emotional experience, especially a traumatic experience. You're going to need a lot more physical movement. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, 90 seconds is crazy because
I know.
I've felt things for forever where I'm just like, go away. I don't want to feel this
When
anymore.
will
And
Wait,
this
nice.
end?
right, because your memory is on a loop of that experience, and your body has latched on to the chemical responses, and so then you're actually addicted to the chemicals that are being released based off of your memory replaying that video.
Hmm.
Oh God. All right. Look, this is eye-opening to me because like next time I get like a negative emotion, I'm like, okay, I know how to defeat you. You'll be here for 90 seconds. I'm going running. And I'm just going and we're gonna get ready. I like this. I like this. There's keys here that I'm
Oh
unlocking.
yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
definitely keys. Yes.
Okay, so once again, we've just started. I'm right. My mind's already blown full of knowledge. We've got bars and knowledge just coming at me left and right. That's why I needed you on this podcast.
That's
Um,
amazing.
Hmm.
the next question, and this is, I guess, it's kind of subjective, but is there a way to quantify or track emotional output slash energy? Um, and like I guess the example would be like when you interact with someone who's technically activated and you're in like you have to essentially use energy to stay in your adult space, right? Because like activation usually begets activation unless you're actively being like, no, this person cannot activate me. There's some energy that goes into that.
Hmm.
And I think well, A, I think a lot of people need therapy, but B, I think there's like I've done it beforehand where I'm like showing up for a person and I'm like, I'm in my adult space, I'll be fine. But I've noticed that like so I wear wearable trackers. I got this one's my Whoop, and that's the one I'm going to refer to right now. Well, I've noticed I showed up for a person and like the interaction was stressful to me, but I was like, I'm in my adult space. I'm fine. And like my recovery the next day was like impacted. It was like, bro, you was stressed
Mhm.
yesterday. What's up? And I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
no, I
Yeah.
meditated, I slept, I
Hmm.
ate
Huh?
food. How is this possible? So I guess like, is there a way to like track that to know that like, hey, you're beginning to overextend yourself or like pull back, like worry about yourself first? And if anyone has the answer, I know you ladies do.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on this. And I'm sure Lindsay does too. So let's start with your body is your unconscious. Let's start there. So you have been programmed. Your body knows every single memory that you've ever experienced, even if your conscious mind doesn't know it. So
Okay.
these memories are stored in your body, as Lindsay discussed, and um, it's almost like I'm not reducing humans down to a computer, but
Feel
just
free for now.
for the analysis that we're in, I'm going to. So, like a computer, we have a programming. The programming happened at a very fundamental, critical period when we were growing up, right? Our developmental phases. And we internalized things that live in our body, live in our nervous system. And not only that, our DNA, we actually hold 7 generations previous in our DNA. And so it's not only just like your nervous system reaction, it's the reaction of your DNA too. Not to scare people, but
God
just
damn.
to inform people of what is happening. Because our conscious mind is like you were saying, like, I'm in my adult space, like this, no, this isn't going to bother me. But the thing is like the subconscious is so powerful that it will bother you. And here's how you like work with that, okay?
Mhm.
Because you got to bridge the gap between your conscious mind and your subconscious. And so you were asking about sort of like data that can indicate uh, whether or not you're act like can you frame that again?
The way I said it was, is there a way to like quantify or track
Right.
that emotional output or energy? Like like uh I've gone too much, I've gone too far, like I can't expend more with this today at an impact of myself.
Yeah. Okay. So this is tricky because you're right. There's many factors involved in that, right?
Hmm.
But something that you can track is the practice of sitting with your body and noticing where in your body are you activated is so important and one of the most powerful tools I've ever experienced in
Hmm.
terms of I'm starting to build a consciousness surrounding how my body feels in relation to my external world, right? And also like I just want to like there's something in this too which relates to we're dynamic beings, so we're constantly changing, right? Like our emotions are changing, our physicality is changing, like you mentioned earlier, hormonally it's changing, especially for women. There's a more dramatic change happening. And so we do our best with what we have, and something that you can do it, and again, this goes back to attunement of your nervous system. Some people can attune more sensitively to their nervous system, but we all can learn how to sit with our body and understand the language of our body that our body is speaking to us.
Mm.
Okay. And that's such a huge tool because what you're speaking to is like in any given situation, wouldn't it be so nice if you were so attuned to your body that when your body sent you some signal of like, okay, this is going past a certain extent of which I want to go to. Oh, I understand that this is me over functioning. And then you adjust, right? And so if you really want to get there, and we're never going to be perfect at that, by the way, nobody is. Even those of us who practice this daily, like there's still times when we go unconscious and we don't realize it. And then we come back to consciousness. So I just want to like be gentle with people and say like this is not an easy thing to do, but you can do it and it could support your quality of life,
Mm.
right? So what I tend to do is and I've been putting a reminder on my phone, like little alarms throughout the day that say, how are you connecting with your body right now? How does your body feel? Right? Because we can go throughout the day on autopilot and not be connecting with what's actually happening in our body. And and so going back to like the unconscious, the subconscious in our body. So if we're talking about how to help our body, how to connect, we also need to talk about how we disconnect, right? And the way we disconnect is protective and we go unconscious. So if there's any kind of big threat that happens, so for example, a traumatic event happens, your system is so wise that it will start dissociating because we cannot take in the fullness of a traumatic experience. It's too threatening. And so what we do is we dissociate and we go unconscious and we then compartmentalize that event. So that's where you get triggers of trauma. The trigger is that your system has not quite put that traumatic event into long-term storage. PTSD symptoms are the brain saying, oh, this memory is still in short-term memory. Like it's still an active memory experience. Your brain believes that every time you get triggered, it's actually happening again. And that's where PTSD symptoms come from, is the brain is like, wait, this is happening again. Like the rumination, the nightmares, the depression, anxiety, panic attacks, like that's because your brain is still thinking that it's an active memory. So when you go through trauma, like reconsolidation of the memory and trauma work, modalities want to help you move that traumatic experience from short-term storage to long-term storage so that
Mm.
it's a memory that's not activated so intensely when you think about it, right? And so getting back to the body is there's all these different ways that you can reprogram your subconscious, but your mind it plays with us. Like it's great. It's a great tool. Love the mind, but honestly, like it doesn't understand having an emotional experience. It can integrate into that. It can join the body and help the body like really integrate a new experience, right? For example, I'm in personal therapy right now, and I'm working with my therapist doing coherence therapy. Coherence therapy really pulls the mind into the body, and they're kind of talking together and they're working things out. So what does that look like? That looks like if I had, accumulations of memories of like feeling like my parents didn't love me, then I'm gonna have this like unconscious belief that people don't love me. right? And so what this therapy does is you revisit some significant experiences related to, like, for example, that theme. And then you create a narrative. So you use the mind to connect with the body to create a cohesive narrative about why your body believes that you aren't lovable, right? Because we need cohesion to integrate things. If it's fragmented, it's really hard to make sense of it. But if we can pull it into a narrative, then we can make sense of it and be like, oh, yeah, like that's actually, I know that I'm loved, but I feel this thing in my body that I'm not loved. So it creates that cohesion together with the mind and body. And then the next step is, okay, let me talk to all those younger versions of me and show them evidence of the here and now where I've seen experienced evidence of people loving me. And so you're shifting the narrative and pulling yourself back into the here and now and letting those younger versions of you know, hey, we actually are loved. Hey, look at how like Lindsay shows up for me and she loves me. And I get to be me with her. I don't have to mask. I don't have to change myself. I just get to be me. And then I consciously imagine my younger version of me watching interactions with me and Lindsay. And then I feel it. I don't just like think about it. I feel it in my body. I'm like, oh, like, yeah, I need to slow down. I receive that I am loved. Right? That's one thing that I've noticed that can shift my own programming in my body and pull those aspects together of my mind and my body. There's all sorts of other ways that you can do that, but that's been the most effective thing to me. And you know what so data points, something that comes from that is relief in my body. If you feel relief when you do any kind of work and you start softening and you start uh like really feeling like any kind of warmth in your body, like those are indicators that you are creating safety in your body. And you're pulling in this evidence that you can be safe in your body, right? So I would say if you want any indicators, like what's going on in your body? Are you holding tension? Because that's the like anatomy of trauma or stress versus when you feel relief and when you feel receptive, like open in your body, that's like the indicators of, oh, I'm creating safety right now. Oh, I'm reinforcing evidence that I am loved and that I am safe, right? So that's what I would say is going on.
So once again, the attunement of the body is and your ability to essentially attune yourself and listen to your body can help you essentially learn to track slash quantify your emotional aspect. Essentially, the better you get at saying, yeah, some stuff's happening out here. What's happening in here? And you can
Yeah.
essentially over time, and you never be perfect at it, as you said, but over
Yeah.
time, you can start to let that sink up and understand. Okay.
Yes. Yes. And
Okay.
in giving yourself compassion around the subconscious is so vast, so big. And we all are so interconnected too. There's not just like my subconscious happening. There's a collective subconscious that we tap into too. And that's real. And so like giving yourself grace about like that disconnect that happens between your body and your mind is so huge. And that honestly, that's why traditional therapy only goes so deep, is because you're only in your mind. And then people feel like, I have all of this insight about myself and I see all of the patterns and I understand it so much up here. Why isn't it changing in my life? And the reason for that is because it's not based on effort or motivation. Like that, and that's why being in therapy sometimes can create shame, is because people start believing, but I have all this knowledge about myself. I don't understand why my life isn't changing. Well, it's because you need to go into your body and shift things in your body and connect to your body and soften to what's happening in your body to really see the emotional reasoning, the emotional beliefs that are connected to your bodily experience
And practice.
and practice.
Practice the uncomfortable conversations, right? Like
That's
people will
a
leave
great point.
therapy and like in theory, like it's all conceptual. Like you leave the room, the closed room of this like this safe container of this like, oh, okay, in theory it should be this. And then you've got to go home and then practice the thing.
You do
Practice the un
live the experience.
Yeah, yeah. Practice the eye contact. Practice lean into the uncomfortable conversation. So often people just like shut down and then like, oh, okay, it's fine. It's like, no, you have to stretch just beyond your perceived limitations.
Mm,
And your physical body is going to give you all those indicators. You have to learn how to not numb out. You have to learn to listen to it. Like,
yeah,
and you have to figure out really where is your line? Where is where do you draw the line where you say, okay, I'm at capacity. I really can't continue, right? Like there's that careful balance of, okay, the lukewarm area of, all right, this is my practice space. I'm gonna stretch just beyond my perceived limitations. Here I am. I'm showing up for the uncomfortable conversation. I'm going to navigate your triggers in this conversation as best as I can. I'm gonna navigate and listen to my own body in this conversation as best as I can. And then when I hit a limit, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Right? Like it's
yeah.
but like school, Earth is a school,
Mm.
truly. And we're showing up in these various relationships to practice and to learn and to grow. And if you find yourself in a patterned loop and you're like, why is the same situation with the same dynamic of the same similar people still happening? It's because you haven't learned the lesson. And it's only going to amplify if you don't lean into the uncomfortable.
You haven't learned the lesson is once again another bar that I would like to say that was just stated. Um, because I hear it a lot, right? Where people are like, this always happens to me, and I
Mm,
used to think of it more as like a self-actualization. Like if you only believe negative things, you only see negative things.
mm,
Yeah.
But also, you could have an opportunity for growth, and you
Hmm.
just you just keep dropping the ball on that opportunity for growth. It's like
hmm
I could grow here, or I could just do it
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
Right. You could
Sure.
just cut this person out of your life, or you could lean into the uncomfortable and use it as a practice space.
Yeah.
Because if you're truly meant to be in each other's lives, you'll continue to show up for each other. Or you could use it as a practice space of, well, they're going to cut me out, so I might as well do my best and figure if I can outlearn my own pattern here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this actually, I want to ask Lindsay about this because the way you said this is really cool. Is essentially you said you have like your mental bandwidth and you stretch like just outside of your mental
Hmm
bandwidth,
Yeah.
and then and that's what kind of helps you grow. And so like in strength conditioning in the world of like training, we call this progressive overload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And essentially like week over week, and this is why people hate me, week over week, I make your workouts just a little bit harder. And a little bit, I
Yeah.
was like, John, it was really hard last week. I was like, gonna be a little harder this week too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, and then they're like, when does it stop getting hard? I was like, whoa,
It doesn't.
well, I never said that. But
Yeah.
but if you notice, like 8 weeks down the line, your new hard
hmm
is so much heavier and you are so much stronger than your old, like
hmm
your old hard is your current warm up,
Yeah.
Hmm.
which is kind of cool, right? And they tell me no, but
Yeah.
that's okay because they still see me anyways, and then we just keep going from there.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Obviously, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting. So progressive overload also applies to the realm of mental health.
Yes.
And for training, obviously I don't use like my body, I use like a spreadsheet. And I'm not going to tune myself to their physical body because they're in pain because I'm making them work out. But what I will do is I'll have a spreadsheet and record this data. But what you're saying is progressive overload will apply from brain and body as long as you have that attuned and can see where you're at and you practice it, because practice makes perfect. Well,
Hmm.
practice gets you closer to perfect. We don't expect perfection. Practice gets you closer to perfection to the point where you can better scale yourself in given situations.
Hmm.
Oh, this is so fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's hmm. Yeah, I would say that there's there's this interesting thing that happens when you start attuning to your body. It's almost like because the mind is it's an interesting one. It helps us integrate things, it analyzes things, it problem solves, right? Like it's great in terms of those things that we need from day to day. And then there's this aspect of the mind that is because it wants convenience, it wants the most efficient way to resolve something. That doesn't help us in the realm of feeling or relationships. So the thing about that is like when you start attuning to your body, your mind is going to be like, well, that's not efficient because if have to slow down and sit with my body, I have to do all these other things. Like, when am I going to have time to do that? Right. So that's why I think meditation can be so helpful for people is because not only are you sitting with, your body, but you're observing your mind and how it can, it can like blind you from seeing things or create these narratives that aren't necessarily helpful or serving you. So, for example, like, we as human beings, we are not great listeners because our mind doesn't want to slow down enough. Our mind just wants to be like, okay, they're saying something, let me just catch the most like the most like surface level thing and go with that. Right? Like it wants to just like assume things so that it's more efficient. That's
Mm.
why inside of conversations like in particular like within partnerships, people have such a hard time because there's all of these things going on inside of a conversation. There's the actual conversation, right? That's happening.
Mhm.
And then there's, because you are so familiar with your partner, there's this built-in system in your mind that's like, oh, I know what they're going to do. Oh, I know what they're going to say. And so that stops you from actually listening to the nuance of what's happening in that moment, right? And then what if you get triggered from the past? Well, that trigger is going to come up. It's going to most likely, unless you've done like work and you're aware of it and you're slowing down, most likely, and we all do this even if you do the work, it's going to stop you from listening to your partner because you're going to get activated and you might
Mm.
start projecting onto your partner things that aren't actually happening, narratives that aren't actually happening, right? And so the brain is great, but when it comes to relational interactions and then also our emotional experience, it can like work against us too. And so it's about bridging that gap between the body and mind and slowing down and being like, oh, my brain is starting to create a story about this person. And it's an assumption. And I don't even know if that's actually what's happening. And Lindsay spoke to it earlier, like our brain, like whatever we like focus on, we're going to reinforce. And it's almost like its own algorithm like TikTok. Like the things that you pick on TikTok that you watch, you're reinforcing it. And it's the same thing with our mind. The things that we focus on, we amplify, and we'll see it again and again and again. And so, a part of like the working with that, like the remedy for that, is to slow down and be as aware as you can of how you're thinking. It's like the metacognition, zooming out and watching your thinking. And then, as Lindsay said, like having those hard conversations and checking in with the person, right? Like if we never checked in with each other, we would be walking around, and this happens all the time, walking around with these stories about people, where we never expressed what we needed to, or we never heard from them, like to clarify things about what happened. We do it all the time. And so that's why I am so passionate about helping people have those hard conversations, because really our mind does that to protect us. It
Mm.
hurts us. Usually the things that we are protecting from, we actually end up hurting ourselves a whole lot. And so it's about breaking through those illusions that our mind creates, right? Like, for example, if Lindsay and I got into a fight and I started thinking, oh, well, she didn't fucking listen to me. Oh, and my brain tries to tag, oh, here's the points where she didn't listen to me, right? And I just amplify that. And then I don't talk to Lindsay. I don't like confront this. I don't tell Lindsay my feelings. We're gonna over time like really feel that distance between each other. And then she may be over there being like, huh, Liz, it feels like Liz is being distant, and I don't know why. And and so then there's ambiguity for her, which our brain will then fill in the blanks when we feel like there's something ambiguous happening. Our brain will be like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna make an interpretation about this." So you see how important it is to have those hard conversations if you want to actually maintain a relationship. And our brain does not want to do that. It wants to protect itself.
Mm. It's so fucking sick. So essentially, now what I'm learning is the hard conversation is the key to not just like your growth as like a person, your mental health, but also the key to being able to seek and maintain your healthy both friendships and relationships.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm keeping up. Like I once again, like
Yeah.
I'm behind, but I think I'm keeping up. Okay, okay,
You're doing great, John.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, we just dove deep into the mind and how it relates to the body, and this is good because like this is a good segue into what you guys do with the body at the North Node Therapeutic Theater. Could you guys then talk about what happens there, how it's facilitated, like you could give me like a daily walkthrough, you could give me an example of like John just walks in the North Node Therapeutic Theater. What's he gonna do? Like however you guys want to do it. But like I would like to let the audience know like what's happening over there because once again I know it has to do with the body, but like how is that once again integrate with the mind because that's what we do today.
Yeah. Lindsay, you wanna start it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we sort of do like half and half, but we
Mhm.
co-facilitate for each half. And so, we gather in a group and we create an experience. So I take the first half, and it's very much somatic movement, noticing your breath, the energy that you carry with intention. So, like, an example would be like, okay, let's walk around in a circle. Just walk in your normal walking pace and have the intention of avoiding all eye contact with all other individuals. What does that do to your breathing? How are you moving about the space? What muscles feel tight? Just take note, don't judge, just observe. Okay, now the next movement, let's continue with a slightly faster walking pace, but let's linger a little bit longer with eye contact. Take note of how you're breathing. Did you begin to hold your breath? Did certain muscles tighten up? How is your jaw feeling? How is your neck feeling? How is it moving at a faster pace? Now, have the intention of greeting everybody as if it's their birthday, but you're not actually saying happy birthday. What does that do to you? So it's like it's a subtle shift, but getting everybody to tune in to their body and how they're reacting and responding. And then we pair up and there are somatic exercises. There's also word exercises where we explore tone and volume, really understanding like, oh, okay, oh wait, can I curse on here?
Oh please, please do.
Okay.
I already did it, so
Oh,
do it.
okay. I forgot.
Do it.
Like if you're saying I love you, but the undertone is fuck you, right? Like, what does that sound like? What does that feel like? How does it feel to receive? What does that feel like to give that, right? So we explore all those dynamics and then we reflect it back into your life. Oh, okay. Where in your dynamic of your everyday life are you bringing that vibration? And then I like to say the second part, I'll just sort of like briefly like give an overview and Liz, you
Yeah.
can expand.
Gonna pause that episode here, or kind of like cut out, draw back for now. Stay tuned and look forward to the remaining part of the episode next week. Enjoy, or enjoy in the future in 1 week. Later.